one. Peace, Vandals and Vandalettes, the God Mathematics, and you're now listening to the Vandal Hour, Season 7, live on S.STREET Media. Make sure you check us out whenever we come on. And when we come on, it's whenever the fuck I want to come on. You hear it. You see the motherfucking advertisement. That's when we drop. When you see that Vandal Hour advertisement, go to YouTube, go to Spotify, go to Anchor.fm, and make sure you check out that episode. You can also check us out on all our social media platforms, Instagram, Facebook, so many. Wherever you put the Vandal Hour, you could Google us. We are everywhere. Make sure you check out all those past episodes. We have some episodes on DTF Radio. If you don't know, go to DTF Radio. Check out them 4 years of Vandal Hour episodes there. We have some of the biggest ones, biggest people there. Check that out. Now check us out on S.STREET Media, our own broadcasting station. Check us out, all the old episodes of the Vandal Hour. We have Season 7 up there, Season 6 up there. Check them out. Now, before we get into anything, I want to give a shout out to all of the Vandal Hour guards and goddesses that came before me. They are the ones that set the path for me to be here 6 years later. We make 6 years, November 2004. The 14th, we make 6 years. We've been doing this, going hard, interviewing some of New York's illest vandals and artists there is. Now, let me give a shout out to all the people that came before me. Without them, there'd be no mathematics sitting here. So let me give a shout out to Brat, Giggles, Greaseboard, J-Lo, Mathematics, not me, Facts on Wax, Issa Nacho, June 457, Sosa, Dre Kill Films, the Bring That Back Dude, DJ Quest, Mr. 13, Buyer 3, Reps, Guest, DJ Swift, DJ EA, and Darwin Queens. Without y'all, there will be no Vandal Hour. Now tonight is a special night, man. You know, we've been rocking and rolling. We've been shaking and baking. We've been bringing you a lot of New York's and outside of New York illest vandals, man. And tonight is something special, man. We had to connect the dots. I had to make phone calls. I had to talk to people. Yo, can you make this happen? Shout out to Neo, Sav. Shout out to Dre. Shout out to Vader. Shout out to everyone who connected these dots so we could be sitting here with this person. Now I'm gonna say this, man. The Vandal Hour is a hip hop show, and just like hip hop, there are big stars in hip hop, like Drake, like Jay-Z. Well, tonight we got the motherfucking Jay-Z of this GRAFF shit in his motherfucking building, and he go by the name of TD.
Thank you.
How you doing, God?
I'm good, brother. Just chilling, trying to, continue this GRAFF thing going on,
I apologize for my fuck up, and we doing this twice. They don't know that, but we know that. But I appreciate you for being here, God. I follow your career. You've been doing things for a long time, man. And I've been in tune. I like what you do. I think you do it correctly, and you stick to the rules. You move by the rules, and I gotta respect that, hands down. So shout out to your family who's here, with the positive energy in the room. I'm feeling, I'm not gonna lie to you, I am feeling really good, man. I'm feeling really positive right now. So, I gotta start this this interview, man, because you have a deep story, man, and I want people to get to know you. So I want to start with, you growing up in the Bronx. How it was when you was a young kid growing up in the Bronx? What was going on in that environment and shit like that?
Growing up, well, it was real rough back then. The family, my mother, she was a single parent. It was just hard raising us, by herself, and the streets, the streets was a big part of my life also, because I had to go out to the street and hustle and try to survive off of that. But it's been a rough ride, incarceration and coming back home, try to do it again and getting in trouble again, and it's just been hard, and I'm glad that I made it this far,
I'm glad you're here. I'm glad, I know you went through some hard times, And I'm glad that you're still here to even talk about those hard times. It's a blessing in itself. You know, the Bronx back in the days, man, you know, you know, a lot of people couldn't just be in the Bronx. Not everyone could go in the Bronx. The Bronx had its own energy. There was a lot of shit going on out there. What was going on outside of GRAFF? What was going on in the Bronx in the times you was growing up? What was happening out there?
Wow. A lot of crazy shit. Like, I'm gonna put you on to first thing I started doing was stealing cars and shit, you know?
Me too.
And it was crazy, you know, I got chased a couple of times. You know, I'm even blessed to be here today. One of the craziest stories I got. You know, I was in Brooklyn actually, and me and my boys, because you know we all take part in the you know, taking the car. Somebody take the car, somebody's gonna turn the car on, somebody's gonna drive it. And that night, I decided to be the driver, and it was winter, and one of the windows were broken, and the police came right by me and they seen the window open. You know, they didn't know it was busted, but they said the window's open. It's too cold for this nigga to be, you know, to have the window open. So I'm driving off and I'm waiting for the light to turn. And I'm making a right turn and I see them in the rearview mirror doing a U-turn. And I don't remember the name of the street that I was at, but I must have, when I seen them come after me and they put the lights on, I must have. No, first I stopped. Actually, this was back in somewhere in the 90s. I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
But I see when they put the lights on, I stopped and they were like, "Yo, we need to see your paperwork." I said, all right. I threw the shit on back on drive and I was out. Yo, but
I went to one of those.
No, but this one is crazy because I feel like I shouldn't even be here today, you know? When I hit that gas, my foot didn't come off that gas and I must have ate like 10 lights in a row.
Whoa.
And I finally went across Eastern Parkway. You know how Eastern Parkway is?
Yeah.
It's like the Grand Concourse.
Indeed.
And I flew. I was going so fast that the car flew like up in the air. And when I came down, there was a big puddle of water, and there was a car in front of me. So I put the emergency brakes. I hit the foot brakes, and I went sliding right into the water, and I crashed right into the car that was in front of me. I jumped out the window and I ran, and I ran like 2 blocks away, and I jumped in this basement. But the basement didn't have no alley, so I was stuck in the basement. And the crazy shit is that I could have got away, but there was an old lady in the window, and she was like, "Oh, he ran over there, and he's in that basement over there." And they, you know, they came and they got me and shit. And then I had to do a little bit for them because I was already wanted.
Yo, know what's crazy you saying that? Because I have a story that sounds almost identical. No stolen car. But we was trying to rob somebody, and the police chased us. We ran, went on the roof, stood there for like 5 minutes. We came back downstairs. The police seen us. They started chasing us. I ran down the basement, and the old lady said, "He's down the basement," and they dragged me up out of the motherfucking basement. So I understand completely.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The Bronx, man. Was it tough back then? Like, you know, could you be a square and be outside like they say now, outside?
Yeah, I think, you know, there was different times you could do certain things, but I never really had a problem being outside. I was really, really young when I started doing graffiti, and I used to walk around the neighborhood with spray cans and stuff. But I had a situation that happened to me. It was crazy. I'm not gonna mention no names, but the dude was a much older dude, and I was a teenager, and he was like, "Yo, let me bust a tag?" And you know, he took my spray can, and to this day, I'm waiting to see if I see him one day face to face, and I want to remind him, you know, what he did. That's some foul shit, you know.
So let's talk about you becoming TD in GRAFF. How did that happen, man?
Wow. I don't remember the exact year, but I definitely know it was in the 80s, early 80s. I just seen like a bunch of my friends from my neighborhood, you know, they was going out tagging and doing their thing. And I had a best friend named Johnny O that he was tagging also. He, you know, not as much as the other guys, but he was tagging up. And my first tag actually was Clear. CLEAR. And he was like, "Yo, that's too long. That's too long, bro." I was like, I said, "Give me a name." So he was like, "I'm gonna get you a name." And he put it off. He said, "Yo, how about TD?" I say, I like that. 2 letters? I like that. So, I was first started off with my building. My building was like vandalized to the fullest. I had graffiti all over it. And I just started tagging all over the building. And then I started tagging outside in the neighborhood and stuff like that. But it was one of my boy Johnny O that gave me the tag and shit, and I took it from there. And I never turned back.
What was it about Graff that made you connect with it?
I don't know. I just started doing it, and then I used to think about it. And I was like, you know what? If I'm gonna do this, I gotta do it right, and I gotta do it. I can't say forever because nothing is forever, but I felt like I had to do it forever. Because why start something if you're gonna just do it for 2 or 3 years and then stop? You want a history. You want to be remembered, and I want to be remembered and always remembered. And and to do that, you had to go all the way to the end until you couldn't do it no more. And
So let me ask you, when you first, those early years, was you writing with other people, or was you doing it mostly by yourself?
When I first started, I was doing a little bit here by myself. Then I got with my first partner ever, my boy Metal. We wrote for like about. As a matter of fact, he was the first one I ever hit the J line with.
Wow.
Yeah, the first one, and he didn't take it as serious as I did, but we did. He was like my first partner, him and I, and then it came with my other boy, Mill. He was more of a homebody. Like his mom didn't never want him with me and shit. But we did little things here and there. We got chased. One time we had to jump off a roof and shit.
Wow.
But my real first partner, I gotta say, even before I mention him, I want to give him a shout out. Happy birthday! Today's his birthday. Tech BCK. I love you, bro, and I miss you.
Shout out to Tech.
And yeah, I just wish he was here. I would love to have one more run with him, But unfortunately, it was his time.
Not to cut you off, but your run together was really ill. How did y'all connect with each other, man?
Wow, that's another long story. It's crazy because when I used to ball my boy Mill, Mill went over one of his tags, I think it was, and Tech thought that it was me. I was writing both names, and I told him, I said, "Yo, that's not me, my nigga. I'm TD. That's my boy," and he probably did it by mistake. So in his mind, he thought it was me, and he started going over my shit.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I going over him, he going over me, and this was back in, I would say probably in the late '80s, maybe. Yeah, like the mid to late '80s, and we just started going over each other and shit, and we had a fight here and there. And there was this other group of dudes that used to write from the west side of the Bronx, and they were called LB. The crew was called LB, Lost Boys. My boy Dex, Krem, and Jazz. They didn't really hit bomb hard, but they were like around the area and pretty much around the hood. And they were like, listen, you and Tech need to squash that beef and get together and smash everything else. And I said, whatever, I've never been with the violence, and I've always been a humble person, but just don't play me, don't try to play me and shit, But we got together, we talked, we squashed it, and then we just took off from there, and we just started smashing everything in the Bronx.
Yo, after you hit the Bronx, I seen a lot of the old stuff. Did you go to other boroughs during that time?
Yeah, we definitely went to Brooklyn. We did some stuff from Brooklyn. Brooklyn, I would say maybe a little bit of Manhattan. Not as hard as I am today, but we did do damage, and we was recognized.
It's you writing most of your stuff. It's crazy because I never seen your thing without rest in peace, Mike, or the stuff. During this time when you connected with Tech, was Mike's around during that time?
Yeah, we did. I did a bunch of them with Tech. Definitely, he was definitely around at that time. My brother passed away in '95, and I never really had something to put in my tea, or just in anything. I really never pushed too many crews. I had a crew one time, and I used to, used to be TMO. But you know, once my brother passed away, I didn't put too much grooves in my stuff. I just put his name and that was good enough.
How did you and Mike connect, and what was the connection like, man?
Oh, Mike was my brother, my real brother. Like,
okay.
Yeah, he was my blood brother and my everything. That was after when he passed away in '95, it was over stupidity and he shouldn't have died that way, and it was crazy because that night I was supposed to go with him and I didn't go with him, and the shit happened,
How does it affect you? Because for a person to write that, like I'm that's true. I don't remember never seeing one without that. So I'm gonna say that so I'm 44. So that's a strong impact. You know what I mean? Like, what keeps you doing that? Like, I know that's your brother, but what? Like, some people family passed and they may write it for a week and it stops. What make you keep doing that every time you do that?
Of course, it's because one, that's my brother, man. I'm gonna rep him to the fullest. Two, it's because I want everybody that know him that when they see that, they remember, damn, Mike, and they miss him, they think of him, because when you die, not too many people go to the funeral. I mean, not to the funeral, but to the cemetery and show respect. It's like when you go to jail. What happens?
Not too many people write you or come by.
Out of sight, out of mind.
True indeed.
So when I put that there on the wall, they see it. The people that knew him, and they think about him and they remember him. And the more that I do it, the more they're gonna think about him and remember him.
I like that. No, I didn't know that was your brother. Let me say this. I'm gonna get as deep because one of the questions I was gonna ask you was like, who's Mike? And I thought I thought it was a friend. So I was like, yo, as a friend, that is pretty real. I said your friendship is real because as I said, people pass away GRAFF wise. I'm just talking about GRAFF wise, and dudes may you see a name a couple of times, and after a while, they stop. So to see you keep doing that, I always wanted to know, like, who's Mike, man? You know what I mean? For a person who don't know your story, like, I know somebody else wanted to know who Mike was too. So that's deep, man. When I see the two-letter tag, there's have been a lot of really great writers that possess the two-letter tag. IZ, is the Wiz, or is JA, JD, VE. Are there any other two-letter tag people that you was paying attention to?
Well, towards the beginning, there was this kid that used to write AX for the Bronx. RD a lot because he was all over the city. Right now it's like there's a bunch of two-letter names that I probably won't remember, and you know how people get, they be like, "Damn, look at them, shout me out." And
nah, the RD is a powerful one. It's a powerful one.
Yeah.
Do you think the fact that you have a two-letter tag that's an advantage to what you do?
Well, it could be, but if you notice, a lot of my shit is really big. So when I do my shit, I try to do it as big as I can, and I try to make it sure that it's big enough that for most writers it's like a 4-letter name.
That's a fact.
So I try to make it tall and wide as big as I can, and depending on the area too, because some areas are hotter than others, and you got to be quick.
How did you come up with the TD, the actual way that you do it? How did you come up with that?
I just I used to do regular block letters back in the days, and it was funny because I look at it now and I be laughing. I'm like, damn, I can't believe that it looks like that. And sometimes it comes out a little fucked up now, but what it is that I be nervous, bro, and I try to do my shit as fast as possible and get the fuck out the area, because you never know who's watching. You never know when the cops are gonna roll up on you. So I try to do it as fast as I can, and when I have time, I take my time, and it comes out right. But I know a lot of niggas out there be like, damn, what the fuck is wrong with TD? That shit look fucked up.
Well, I seen some pretty ones though. I'm not gonna lie to you. I seen some of your smaller ones that's kind of pretty, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. It like you is very neat, man. The reason why I asked you that because people be talking shit like, yo, a motherfucker on not you in general, a motherfucker only up because he got 2 letters. If he had 4 letters, he wouldn't be up that much. But like you said, I done see big joints that it's about 4 letters anyway. So you can't even use that argument when we talking about what you do. What's some of the crews that you down with?
I'm down with a bunch of crews.
Which ones? I'm not gonna go. I don't want you to go through all that. Which ones are the ones that stand out to you the most? That I hope that you feel connected to the most.
First and foremost, I gotta say BCK. That was Tech's crew, and I'm pushing him. I'm trying to push it a little bit more now, so I can at least have some type of how would you say, like, just try to show more love towards BCK Tech, and remind the people that BCK still around. I had my own crew back in the day, like I said, it was TMO, the Magnificent Ones. I kind of like stopped writing it. It's because what it is that like when I'm in the streets writing and doing my feelings, like I said, I'm trying to do it and get out. I'm not trying to do no borderlines. I'm not trying to do no crews. I'm just trying to do TD, and I gotta write Mike, rest in peace, my brother, and get out of the hood. You know what I mean? So I don't. But when I do push the crews, I push up. A few crews I push up. Gods of Destruction, KD, KGK, Mr. Screw. That's Mr. Screw. You heard? That's Mr. Screw.
Shout out to Mr. and KGK boys.
Yeah. And of course Neil, the US crew, and Saz, DS, BTC, of course. Rest in peace, Spec.
Rest in peace, Spec.
Four. I'm sure
that's my man. Yeah, my man's Four. We had him on the Vandal Hour.
And BRT, of course.
We had them on here too.
KGK.
We need them on here. We need some of them KGK boys. Mister, we see what y'all doing.
And KGB, rest in peace, Near.
We definitely had the guard on here. We had Doms in there. And we have Rhino also.
And of course the boys, the SB boys. Stay Busy crew. You know who's that, right?
I'm thinking Panic and CO.
That's right. That's their crew. That's them right there.
I've been seeing some things, man. Some nice, beautiful things, man.
Bro, they motivate me. They push me to the limit, bro.
How you feel about the youth now? You know what I mean? Because you're an older generation. How you feel about the youth that's coming up doing this? How you feeling about what they doing?
I'm glad that it's still going. But they have to learn the rules to this, because when you don't learn the rules, your shit will get dissed, violated. It just you just gotta know what you gotta do. Just ask somebody much older than you that's been in it for a while, and ask them what the history, the rules. So this way you won't fall into the trap, because a lot of people do some dumb shit. What's funny that. I fell into that same mistake when I was growing up, and I went over somebody very, very legendary, and if you know about GRAFF, I went over Mitch 77.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. I understand.
One faded stuff he had, and I didn't know. I apologized, and I didn't talk to Cope, and I told him I didn't know.
Did it cause a lot of ruckus?
Yeah, it did cause a lot of ruckus. It actually I believe that it caused a beef between me and Louis 167.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we talked, we squashed it and shit, and and you live and learn, But for the young ones, I think they should do their history, try to learn more about it before they go crazy, because they start going over the wrong people, the people that passed away, and it causes them a lot of problems.
Let me ask you, man. If a young brother came up to you and was like, "Yo, I like what you're doing, God, man. Can you point me in the right direction?" What would be your answer?
Oh, of course. I show everybody love. You know what I mean? Because it made no sense being an asshole. Because all you're gonna do is get enemies, and people's gonna hate you even more. So I'm always there to help and put them on the, point them on the right direction, so they could do the right thing.
I'm gonna say this, man. I like all you've been through different generations of years of doing what you do. What year stands out the most to you when you think about your career?
I gotta say 2020. I gotta say 2020, baby.
Outside of 2020, what other year will be close?
I gotta say 95 when my brother passed. I just went bonkers. It's crazy because I came home in 94 and my brother passed away in 95.
Ooh.
So I was incarcerated. I did 2 bullets running wild on the island. And when I came home, maybe a little bit over a year, I lost my brother, and I said, I got something to definitely write in my tea now, and I just took it from there.
Yo, you know what's funny, man? Cause I'm going somewhere else with this. I want to change the energy a little bit. I follow you on different platforms, and one of the platforms I had seen you write is about going all city, and I want to go into the all city conversation. You have wrote a lot of people be claiming all city, but ain't touching Staten Island. What made you say that?
I don't know. I seen a post. I think Savs had it up. I believe it was him, and I seen it. I said, you know what? He's right. He's 100% right. When you claim all city, to me, you gotta have at least 100 fillings in each borough. For me, 910, 905. I'm not with that, especially in New York City.
Some doing 2.
And they claim all city. That's not. Don't do that. Because you're gonna get shouted. You're gonna get shouted at me. I'm a humble dinger. It is what it is. You want to think you're all city, you're all city. You know what I mean? But I know the real meaning behind it. You have to. For me, you have to do at least 100 fillings in each borough. And I don't even have. And I believe it's Queen. I have like about maybe 60 or 70 fillings. I still don't have 100 fillings, but you gotta have at least 100 fillings in each borough, bro. And when I went to Staten Island, thanks to my boy Esco, because he was my guide. And it was me. Who did I go up there with first?
You don't gotta go to no names. You don't gotta go to.
All right, so I went up there. When I went up there, he guided me around pretty much the whole island. And I went up there 3 times, and I have like about maybe.
You don't gotta go through nothing. Who was you seeing when you was going out there? Did you see anyone that was like, oh right, he's definitely in other places outside of here?
I can't really say anybody because I really didn't see nothing out there. It was pretty clean. The only ones that was out there was the people from Staten Island.
Sure indeed.
But
how was the energy on Staten Island? Without going to no details, how's the energy out there like as a writer going out there? What was the energy like?
It's just totally different. You have the good neighborhoods that we didn't really pay much at, and then we went to the bad neighborhoods, and my boy Esco told me we just gotta be careful because out here there's fucking they don't really tolerate that shit out here, and then there's cops all over the place. So, but we like I said, I was pretty blessed. But when I went out there, we smacked everything, everything. So did about 50, 60 fillings or something like that.
What's your energy when you in your vibe, when you in your mode? What's your energy like, man? Like what's going like how you feeling when you doing what you do?
Oh, when I'm in the mood, I don't want to hear you want to go home. I don't want to hear you tired. If you're hungry, well, stop, get something to eat, but we're gonna keep going until we get what we want to get. And I'm usually like doing minimum 12 fillings, 15 to 20, depending on the night if it's sweet. But I don't want to hear 5 fillings. You want to go home? I do not want to hear it.
Yo, your work ethic it speaks for itself. I'm going to say this, man. I'm another person who I feel who have a high work ethic. I was incarcerated with the brother too, up north. But right now, or not right now, but in the past couple of years, his work ethic was very, 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 very high. Shout out to Niso. Niso, I feel like, has a high work ethic. Some people, let me give you an example. You have certain people that you see everywhere, but it's not on a constant basis. Like you may see something like in a nice spot, boom, and then you won't see another one until maybe a month or two later. Certain people I see producing on a constant basis, like boom, boom. Like those are the work ethics that like it's almost machine. They're like to Terminator or something when it comes to this graph. So those I respect at a higher level. Shout out to that dude ZB. I don't know who he is. But shout out to ZB, that white guy that loves doing what he does, my brother, man. But how you started in the 80s and now it's in 2020s. How has GRAFF changed from back then to now to you?
In the 90s, late 80s to early 90s, it was just the streets were just bananas. You had to fight for spots. You had to climb on top of niggas to get on top. So there was like not too much room, Now there's a lot much room, even though lately it's been
it's getting filled now.
Yeah, it's getting filled up now. So I hit rooftops, but I never was really much of a climber. I'm actually kind of afraid of heights, man.
Me too.
I wish I wasn't, but maybe thank God that he put me afraid of heights, because I would have been doing some crazy spots. And I think definitely the '90s was crazy out there, and it's a lot more room now. You don't really have to go crazy looking for spots, but lately it's getting full, and you just gotta make sure you pick the spots wisely.
When you think about right now, because as I said before, this COVID shit, you was in motion already. How you feeling about the GRAFF that COVID produced? Outside of yourself, how do you feel, like just in general, how do you feel about what the GRAFF that has been produced since the COVID time?
Well, a lot of writers came out, a lot of new writers came out, and even some of the old writers, but it's just like everybody's just was going crazy, The streets was quiet, and even the people that probably never thought they would do GRAFF, they came out and did GRAFF. The streets were empty. I was out there. You could run around the fucking block butt ass naked and not worry about nobody seeing you. That's how dead it was, and I took advantage to that, and of course, a lot of other people took advantage to that. But
did you bump into any writers when you was out there?
I bumped into a few. I was never really too lucky to bump into anybody. Maybe that's a good thing. Because you never know who you might bump into. But I'm maybe a handful of people. That I probably don't remember.
It's funny. As I told you earlier, this is the edited version. But my business partner, shout out to Rod, man. Get Fed Records. But my man, he don't write GRAFF, man.
Rod?
My man Rod. He's my business partner.
Oh, he's not a graffiti writer?
No.
Because there was a graffiti writer called Rod, R-O-D.
I remember that.
Yeah.
So my business partner, he don't write GRAFF, but we done got him into GRAFF now. He be around us all the time. We talking that shit. We looking at books. We looking at shit on videos. So now he's on his like it interests him now. And when one day he came to me, he's like, "Yo, you ever heard of TD?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Yo, I seen them, man." I was like, "Yo!" He's like, "Yo, I seen them, man." No lie to you, this is a person who don't write GRAFF, God. I'm gonna say that. First of all, he doesn't write GRAFF, but he said the same thing that you can't deny. Yo, I see that shit everywhere. You know what I mean? But let me just say, like, even he was hype. You know what I mean? So, like, let me say this, man. GRAFF is a voice. A lot of people may not look at it this way, but GRAFF is a voice. A lot of people, GRAFF is a conversation on walls. You could tell a lot where you at by the GRAFF that's on the wall. I can almost tell what borough I'm in if I see certain tags. Like, I could tell you where I'm at just from the tags on the wall. So GRAFF is a language. Graph is a subculture within a subculture, you know, and we communicate with each other. This is the way we talk with each other. This is the way we communicate to the world. So it gives us a voice. So you know, your voice right now is loud. Your voice is speaking to the people, man. People are rooting for you, man. You know, just for like, you know, a lot of this shit is watered down. So when you see a person who's from the cut from that cloth, you gotta respect it. So many suckers that's doing it. You know, you could be all everywhere, but if you a punk, you a sucker, it doesn't count. You know what I mean? Like if a nigga just smack you around, you can't be the top, boy. You know what I mean? So when a person holds the crown, holds the position with power, like the way you're supposed to, you got to respect it, man. And I respect what you're doing. Let me ask you a question, man. What's the characteristics, or what does it take in your mind? What you think makes a good graffiti writer? What's some of the things that he's supposed to be able to do, or qualities he's supposed to have to be called a good writer?
If he's in New York, he definitely got to go Old City. And he got to stay active, you know. Maybe not as hard as once you conquered all the boroughs, but you got to stay active and you got to continue doing it, and let niggas know that you're still around. And you know, and people will respect that and look up to you, you know. You got to keep going. That longevity, you got to keep going. You got to keep going and just keep going and until you can't anymore.
Do you ever see yourself going into the piecing world, like the fancy stuff of Graff?
If I had the skills, I would have did it. But I'm just straight street bombing. You know, I was created that way. I was born that way, and it's just straight street bombing for me.
Yo, recently, man, I got to give you a shout out, man. You know, when I seen this, first of all, let me just say this. Shout out to my homeboy Facts on Wax. He sent me a video last week, I believe it was. Me and him speak almost every day, either through text or through conversation. And he sent me a video. At the time, I didn't know it was Action Bronson, but he sent me a video of Fat Joe and Action Bronson speaking on the Fat Joe show about you. What's crazy is I didn't know that was Action Bronson at the time. Then I seen another film of another video of it. How do it feel to you, a person who is not in the music industry, that people in the music industry is talking about you? How did that feel?
Wow, it was a big shock, a surprise, but it was just crazy because, you know, I didn't like hear it. Somebody DM me, and she told me it was she said, listen, you have to listen to this, and she told me, listen, shit is hot. I said, all right. I woke up actually like 3 in the morning. I was in the bathroom, and I just started listening to it. And I was like, wow. I was like shocked, you know, because, you know, a lot of people you think that they don't listen to you, but they do, you know. They see everything, they hear things, and I didn't think they were like was paying attention, especially, you know, Fat Joe, like over the years. Like,
have you ever met Fat Joe?
You know, it's crazy. I did met Fat Joe one time. I never talked to him about graffiti though. It was more on the business level. They was doing I don't remember if you remember. He was doing a promotion at the restaurants. I forgot.
Jimmy's, the Jimmy Cafe one.
No, he was going around to the restaurants for people to you know.
He was doing some shit.
Yeah, he was doing some shit, and he came to my restaurant one time, and you know, I didn't really talk to him much because they were just doing the promotion of what they were doing at my restaurant. And I never really talked to him, and I was surprised that you know, what's his name, Action Bronson. Yeah, he know what time it is. He, you know, he's seen it.
He's connected to a lot of Graff writers.
Yeah. And you know what sucks though, that I'm trying to reach out to him and tell him that, you know, respect for.
Thank you for the shout out.
Thank you for the shout out, and I can't, you know, you can't DM these people because they don't respond back.
But now understand this though. I'm gonna show you the other side. Imagine, for us it's the one DM, But for them, there's probably like 400 DMs.
No, I know.
Like let me say this. I'm
even more.
I'm about to say I've been around a graffiti writer. I'm not gonna say no names, but I was around a graffiti writer, a very popular graffiti writer, and we used to hang out all the time. And I said, be in his house. If I'm lying, I'm flying. He should show me. He wasn't even paying attention to his DM. When I say like he don't even look at it, but when he did, when I say that at least 200 or more DMs on a daily basis, and he said laugh at it like his mind is not even the thought to even look at that shit. So I imagine someone like an Action Bronson is probably quadruple.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm gonna say this, man. I respect that, man. That lets you know that the world is watching. You know? It lets you know that also that GRAFF still holds weight. People be thinking it's not like it used to be. No, it's like it used to be. You know?
Yeah.
And when I synced it, I was so happy for you. I'm not gonna lie to you because, you know, I'm glad you're here. I'm just explain. It's funny how life happens. I'm glad you're here because they was talking about you, but I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say this, man. Shout out to Fat Joe. Shout out to Action Bronson because I'm gonna tell you this. I'm gonna tell you how deep it is. They're gonna hear this. Remember what I said. They're gonna hear this. And shout out to them because you are doing your work and they acknowledged it. And shout out to anyone who acknowledges our culture, man, because they don't have to. You know, shout out to Crack TS. You know what I mean? We know what you used to do, and we respect what you used to do. And thank you for shouting my man out on your show because he's about to go global soon, Fat Joe. He's about to go global right now with that shit. So the fact that, you know, let me say this, people in Atlanta is probably talking about you like, yo, boy, you see, you talking on TD, man. Like, that's how big that show is. So that's dope, man. That's dope, man. Let me say this, man. A lot of writers, New York has always been the mecca of GRAFF. Always. No one else is the mecca of GRAFF. You know, people in Europe try to claim that, but it can't be. It started here in the Boogie Down Bronx and in New York City. But there's people who's trying to claim that. New York is the mecca. A lot of outside people from other states, other countries is coming to New York, and they are scraping New York right now. What's your opinion on outside writers and what they're doing to them streets?
Wow, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, and that's taking it out their state, country, wherever they at, and bringing it to other places. And I love that shit, you know, because it inspires me to go out there and do the same thing. And I gotta say special thanks to Neil and Saz, because if it wasn't for them, I probably would have been still stuck in the 5 boroughs.
You told me one of your stories too. They told me one of your missions out. And so how are you feeling about what's going on? Where you going outside of New York City?
Well, I've been lucky. I've been blessed, and I haven't get into no situations, but I've been finding these guides, you know, in each state, and I want to thank them all for, you know, guiding us through the state and the, you know, and taking us to the right spots. Because, you know, if you don't find the right spots, you will get buffed quickly, and you won't have anything up there. So, you know, I gotta give a special shout out to them, because without them, it would be a waste of time, you know. And a lot of people think that it's not. You go out there and you just paint and you're gonna live. No, the buff is real.
You gotta tap in. You gotta
definitely tap in, and, you know, get the route. I'm the guy. You know, he'll take you around. So I've been on the state to state shit right now, you know, and taking it to the next level. I probably won't go 50 states like New York.
Well, you're going to touch some other places.
I'm going for at least 30.
Okay.
30 at least. You know, and then we'll come back. When I'm done with the 30 states, I'm gonna come back to the 5 boroughs and smash it one more time, and then I'm gonna put it up.
I'm gonna say this, man. You first of all, you know, I asked you about the crew thing, but you deserve a crew, because I see a lot of people who's not up and they be having crews. That should be killing me. I never understood that one. The person who does the least has the most people following him, and I believe that a person who does the most should have everybody following him. And so you are a king of what you're doing right now. But do you see yourself evolving? Like, you know, right now it's, you don't just got to do just the streets now. You could do the canvases and stuff. Do you see yourself going into the canvas stuff and stuff like that?
Yeah, definitely. When I'm pretty much done with the streets, which, you know, I don't know when that's gonna be, because, you know, it's just hard, you know, just giving up the stuff that you like to do, you know, you love to do, and out of everything besides making money, it's been GRAFF, and I love it, and I, so far I can't let it go, and every time I let it go, it drags me right back in.
It's an addiction.
It's an addiction. It's like fucking crack cocaine,
everything else. They need GRAFF Anonymous,
and I just love it. I just love seeing, you know, not really seeing my stuff out there, but for my fans and the people that love me and show love to me, you know, and I do it for everybody, especially my brother, you know, so everybody can remember him.
How do your friends and family, like, that see your stuff, that know that it's you, how do they react? Do you get a lot of DMs and stuff like that from different people and calls like, yo, I just seen shit over here, man, and stuff like that?
Well, for my family side, it's not, I don't have a big family. I was a very small family, and my mom, she was never really cool with it, you know. My mom's was just a whole totally different person. She'll be like really against it. She don't want me to get in trouble.
I got you.
And I explained it to her mom big already, you know. I know what I'm doing, you know, and you know, now she's trying to be okay with it, but she still think that I shouldn't be doing it because she don't want me to get in trouble.
Sure indeed.
Yeah, so but
that's what mothers do.
Yeah, I'm lucky because my wife.
Shout out to your wife, man. Thank you for bringing them through.
My beautiful daughter.
Shout out to your daughter also.
Yeah,
your pops is a legend when they say that. I want to give him his roses while he's here.
Thanks, bro. You know, I'm just lucky because, you know, a lot of writers, their girlfriends, they don't put up with that shit. You know, that shit's for kids, and what the fuck you doing? What you do, right? Let me do what I do. But you know, it's just crazy, man. I love this shit, bro. I don't know when I'm gonna stop, but I'm getting towards the ending of it, though, you know. But maybe when I retire, I'll come back like Jordan, huh?
Yo, let me say this, man. A lot of people who's famous for what they're doing, it's hard for them to not do that. You know what I mean? But I'm gonna say this, man. You know, some of the greats in our culture, you know, when you see, let me say this, there's a time that you have slowed down heavy, but when I seen one, it held that weight, like, wow, because like when you don't see a person for a long time, oh shit. And when I seen one, I'm like, oh wow, you know, like you on your back in your game. So for the people who you don't got, you get to a certain point, and you're at that point, and many others, that when you go write a tag somewhere, and somebody see that tag, they be like, yo, everybody taking pictures. It's like like Banksy. You could just write a little sign, and everybody like,
yeah.
It becomes. People don't understand that this shit is a real. It's a real. People who really. I'm gonna give an example. There's a guy who comes to all our GRAFF stuff, and he always bring these big canvases, right? And he always want all the writers to write on it. Like, he does that shit every time. He's a collector. I never see his tag ever, nowhere, ever. But his collection of shit is up there. Shout out to June 457, who is also a collector. So there's people who's really admiring. Sometimes we don't know what I know. You probably not even looking at it from that when you doing it. From how people's looking at it, you just in your zone. You shaking, you baking. You like, all right, I'm doing what I do. But there's people who's analyzing, taking pictures. You know, you don't have graffiti writers. The Voice done articles about A. Charles, Stay High, 149, Is the Wiz. I can name the ones that the regular world taps in. So I'm gonna say this, and you know. You were at the Vandal Hour, which I appreciate you, but I'm going to say this, man. First of all, I believe that we're making history right now. So I'm going to say that first. And when like another example, RE 357. When I had him, I knew that we was making history then too. You know what I mean? And we're making history. They're gonna study this years later. They're gonna talk about you years later. They're gonna want for you to sign something, for you to take a picture with them, all that stuff. And I'm gonna say this: I got the first interview, and I'm that is what I wanted, man. And you are an icon, not because of what you're doing now. I mean, let's take that away. If it was 2019 and we had this conversation, I could say the same thing. You are an icon. You have I seen relics of your shit. I went to your page one day too, but I seen relics of your shit that it's like real throwback shit. Like I seen your block, you put the pictures of your block and you was like looking it back on the upper top. Yeah. Like you can't erase history. No matter what people talk about, let me give an example. The Copes, you can't erase the history. What these people put in, no matter, I know you like, oh fuck, but the history is solid. And I'm gonna be real, your shit is like sparkly, shoe shine clean, like you know. So I'm gonna say this, man. I'm happy that you came to the Vandal Hour. I wanted to end this with before we close out. I want to say this, man. If you had a chance to do this over again, would you do it again?
Hell yeah.
Would you change anything?
Yeah, I would change going harder in the beginning. You know, it's easier now. You know why? Because you got the shopping cart walkouts. Mm-hmm. You got the Home Depot. You got the Lowe's, and you got this and you got that. Back then, they had the mom and pop's hardware stores. I didn't have a car way back then. So you know what I had to do? I had to break it to motherfucking hardware stores to get my paint.
Oh no! let me say this. I was part of a crew. I wasn't. I was a younger brother, the younger one of the crew. But I know. Shout out to AMK. My dudes used to go up out of state and they used to take their cars, back their shit into hardware stores, and they used to come back with so much stuff. I used to be like, yo, what y'all doing? We just back that shit into the fucking thing. So I know what you're talking about. If any shout out you want to give, any shout out to the people anything you want, any last words you want to say?
Yeah, I want to give a special shout out. You know, I know he's down here, he's up there watching me. My brother, Mike, rest in peace. You know, I'm gonna keep repping you, brother. I love you and I miss you. And of course, my boy Tech, happy birthday. Today's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Tech, baby. Rest in peace.
And my boy E Nice. He didn't write too much, but that was my other brother. You know what I mean? We did a lot of crazy shit together. E Nice, rest in peace. I miss you, baby. And everybody that passed away from my neighborhood, from 171st and Walton Avenue. You know, we lost a lot of people out there. You know, and you know, I miss most of them. Who else out here? Let me see. Especially, I wanna thank my wife for putting up with my madness.
Shout out to your wife, man.
And my beautiful daughter, my son, my granddaughter, my niece, my nephew, and my brother Noke. I'm sure you heard of Noke before.
I know, of course.
BTC Noke, my brother Noke, BTC, and my 17.
Okay.
One of my other partners that I had in my lifetime. She's a king. You can't call her a queen. She's a king.
Yo, you know what's funny? I've been hearing that from a lot of writers. They're like, don't call her king. I mean, queen. Call her king.
Right. And of course, my brother, I call him Broke Cole because he's always crying broke. But he be working doubles and triples and he still be crying broke. But yeah, we did we hit the boroughs though together.
Shout out to Cole KGB.
Yeah. Word. And let me see, my boy, of course, we call him the White Rat, the White Bastard. Serve, my boy, Serve R2B.
Yo, killing New York City streets too.
Word. And my other boy Acid, WH.
Facts.
He sticks to the freights more. He's more of a freight truck.
I seen it.
Yeah. And my boy from LA, Erupt. And the whole R2B crew. And of course, my boys Neo and Saz, if it wasn't for them, I won't be 11 states in already. You know what I mean?
Woo!
11 states. I want to give a shout out to them. They definitely put that battery in my back and made me follow the way. You heard? And of course, my boy Sense from the Bronx, BTC.
You already know my man. My man, is he still incarcerated?
No, he's out.
Shout out to the guard.
He's coming back. He's definitely coming back. He's trying to finish this parole, whatever.
Yeah. Shout out to Sins BTC. Shout out to Cito also. Shout out to 4.
Bird 4, and G, Mr. C Child, Tech from the KGK crew. My boy Sting. He just appeared out of nowhere after so many years.
What's the tag? What was the last?
Sting.
Spell it for me.
STING.
Okay.
He used to bond with Colt back in the day. Well, not much with Colt, but mostly with Med. I don't know if you remember Med, KBK, Says.
MED?
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Ain't that Tough City?
No, that's a different Med.
That's the one I
yeah, the Med I'm talking about he used to write with was KBK, Kingbridge Terrorists. Was it that Kingbridge Kings or something like that?
Okay.
But yeah.
My bad.
What else? Let me see who else. Especially the SB boys, boy. They stay busy.
Sure indeed.
Word. Panic is CEO Zers and my man ZB. I met him in the system, bro, and he never forgot me,
Shout out to all those brothers he just shouted out, man.
Word. And the crews. I gotta put up the crews, the BTC, BRT, KD, TVT, KGB. And especially to all the guys, like I said before, all the guys that take us around the city, wherever we at. If it wasn't for them, we probably wouldn't be. They probably already buffed us already.
That's a fact.
And and especially my fans, my fans and people that.
What you want to say to your fans, man? What you want to say to the people who admire what you do, writing wise?
Oh shit! I want to give a special shout out to them because without them, there's no real recognition. And nobody's reposting your pics. Nobody's DMing you talking about how they appreciate you doing what you do, and just showing all the love in the world, And I love them for that. You know what I mean? Because without them, I probably would have just said, what, fuck this. You know what I mean?
Do you got a crazy picture collection? I just want to ask. You got a crazy of GRAFF? Do you got a crazy picture collection?
You know what's funny? I never was into pictures. Even to this day, when I bomb, I everybody else that I'm with, they take the pictures, and I'll be lucky to get some of them, and some of them I won't get. But I never was like, I just want to go paint.
You just like to paint.
Yeah, just want
to paint. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Yeah. And know what's funny? That's the best documentation too, because it's better when they put up the documentation instead of you. Yeah. I think it's just ill. Yo, I want to say thank you to you and your family for coming here tonight, man. You made my fuck my day. You made my 2020. Neo, Sav, CD, Dre, Vader, and Sate. I want to thank you all, man, because you know why? Because there's people who still believe in us, and we've been having a hard time because now we expanded. We have 25 shows on S.STREET Media. It's not the Vandal Hour by itself no more. I got 24 brothers and sisters now, and I care about their stuff more than I do mine. So I'm gonna put my time more towards them. I did what I needed to do with this. I'm more into my whole station. So, but this right here and the last 2 other interviews, I have some surprises. I'm not going to talk about it over the air, but look out for March 2021, man. We got some plans. The Vandal Hour, man. I'm not going to say nothing, man. You just got to watch and pay attention. I thank you, TD, man, for coming through and supporting us, man. You have changed. You, the RDs, the Copes have made us what we needed to be. So I thank you. And without y'all, it wouldn't be no us. The Vandal Hour Season 7, TD, I'm Mathematics. Make sure you follow us on all them platforms.
Right.
This is history, baby. I'm telling you, run them numbers up. When you go to YouTube and Spotify, Run them up, man. Run them up, because this is rare. This is rare shit right here.
Love, much love.
This is rare shit. We got the king in the building, man.
Stay humble.
Thank you for coming through, TD. You have a good evening, and I'm signing out from the Vandal Hour.